This is round 5 of the Portland Cornerstone tournament that we held at FAB Foundry. Up top of the screen is a relatively new player in our area, Stu, playing a druid deck. And at the bottom of the screen is Rob, playing a sorcerer deck. Both of these decks, pretty fast. I think they have a lot of the same minion packages in them. They're both running fire heavily. Stu's deck is mono fire, I believe. Fun fact, I played Stu in the first 5 rounds of Swiss, and he was my only loss, and we were basically playing a mirror match. So we were both running essentially the same deck with fire aggro package. And his deck, I think, was slightly more tuned for meta. It had a couple more key cards in it that I didn't throw in because I didn't think I needed. Still looking at the top card of his deck as he's going second. This tournament we were playing with the second player Seer rules, and it looked like he opted to keep that at the top of the deck before having Rob kick us off here. Rob playing a desert for his first sight, no follow-up past turn. Stu playing a desert, just pinging itself and then bringing Tawny in. Second sight for Rob. Rob is going to play a bonfire into the center. 2 mana for Sirocco Scorpions. And then passing turn. So Sirocco Scorpions, unless Stu can clear that out, will allow Rob to make a trade for most of the early game pieces that he wants to bring out. Second sight for Stu, he brings out a town. And town is one of the sites that, you know, I went back and forth on, and I didn't put in my own version of this druid monofire deck, just because I didn't want too many sites without threshold on it. Warhorse onto Warhorse onto the town, attacking into the Scorpion, just the trade. Tawny moving forward. Yeah, so I didn't run towns in my version of the deck. Not to say that it's not a good card. I just wasn't. I was even with just monofire. I was nervous. I was nervous about like early thresholds getting choked out. Violent coming down to ping out Tawny. And then Rob passing turn, choosing to leave the sinkhole there, not aggressively clearing out the town. Third sight for Stu was a Funeral Pyre. 3 for Saracen, with that discount from town. So as I think as Stu demonstrates in this game, he does gain a lot of value out of the town card, and honestly, that is potentially an example of why Rob might have wanted to just go ahead and pop the sinkhole turn earlier and cleared that. His fourth sight, Vesuvius. I can only assume that he wants to keep the sinkhole just because he doesn't want to pop it unless he absolutely has to, and wants to get his mana base established so he can start tapping for an additional card. Minor Explosion to take care of the Saracen. And I guess it didn't really matter if he It potentially didn't matter too much if he popped the sinkhole on the first town, because Stu has another one. Yeah, Taurus Hammer onto Tawny attacking for 2 points, and then end of turn, the Dragonets ping for 1 more to the Sorcerer. So the Stu, starting his turn here, he is at 4 mana. He's tapping for, looks like a 5th sight. 5th sight is a Forge. Unless he can pick up the Lance this turn, I don't think he's going to opt to pay the 1 for it. Looks like he didn't. He is playing a Violimp forward to deal 2 to the Dragonets, and then he's playing Kobolds. At end of turn, they'll strike the Dragonets for the last points of damage to remove it. So he does have presence on the board now with the Violimp and the Kobolds. They are clumped together, which is potentially dangerous. We've seen they're both playing fire. They both have access to things like minor explosions. So, like, grouping up on sites like that when you're starting down fire is an easy way to get 2 for 1 if you're not careful. Drinking on the Tawny, swinging for 2 points of damage in. And then passing turn, Stu doesn't have a follow-up or a play for that turn, which is surprising. Rob established here with 5 mana, and I think now his mana base is set at 5. He's going to start tapping for the additional spell to gain card advantage, and kind of just start going and hope he has the advantage to take him through the game. So moving Kobolds, end of turn they'll strike Tawny, and Violimp attacking for 2 points to the center square town. Redcap Poweries attacking up to the other town for 3 points. And then he's passing turn. Stu, drawing a spell for turn. He should have, yeah, he has at least 1 sight in his hand. I can see. It looks like a River of Flame. Probably gonna tap to get that out to bring his mana base up to 5. Tawny summons from bringing in the new sight. Five for a Lava Flow. I think he called Tawny, but he could also have used the River of Flame as the spellcaster for that as well. The end result's the same, though. It's going to clear board for him. Or at least clear a significant portion of the board for him. Kobolds are still out. However, they need a target to strike at end of turn, or they're going to strike themselves. Which I think is what they're commenting on right now. So it's one of the dangers of running Kobolds. They can get caught out, like, away from everything, and then you end up with some unfavorable decisions, just like they just attack into the site, they strike themselves and fizzle. Or do you come up with another solution? I think he got the pieces he needed to keep it alive another turn here. So 3 for the red cap, attacking into the center town, and then attacking up with the kobolds. At end of turn, the kobolds are going to be able to strike the red caps, and the red caps will survive. Rob he took back his Dragonets. I think he took that back. I think he took that back because he didn't have enough mana for it. Because he already paid 3 for the powers, and he has a total pool of 5. And unlike Stu, he does not have towns, giving him discounts on exceptional minions. Another reason why Rob probably not using that sinkhole to destroy a site at this point in the game, other than already getting his mana base where he wants with 5, is that it wouldn't do as much good at this point. If he destroyed a town, there's 2 of them out there anyways, so Stu can still get that benefit. Paying 3 for a Clamor of Harpies with the discount. The Harpies strike the kobolds. Red Caps attacking in, and then Tawny for another point. And I think he had just enough mana to make that happen with the discounts. The town putting in a lot of work for him this game. Stu currently having a lot of board presence. Rob generating a lot of card advantage at this point, double tapping or tapping for an additional spell draw each turn here. But he needs some responses to start taking care of these threats. 2 points, or 2 mana for Firebolt for 3 points to kill the Red Caps. That should leave him with 3 mana left. We know that he has the Dragonets in his hand. The Dragonets could land to ping Tawny at end of turn, and that's probably a good play for him. And then the Red Caps do have to attack, or they're gonna die. So I think he's just trying to determine where he wants to declare attack, which site. And then Stu can either defend and trade the Harpies, or let that 3 points in. And he's choosing to let the 3 points in to leave the Harpies on the board for his next turn. So, I mean, I can't see the rest of Rob's hand, but I would be surprised. Yeah, there's the Dragonets that we were talking about. So Dragonets come in, end of turn, they'll ping Tawny just to get Tawny off the board here. And I don't know if I haven't been keeping track. I don't know if Stu necessarily has a sight in his hand. Looks like he does. So he can get another. He can get another summon on Tawny again here. Yeah, he's tapping in, playing a Forge, which is decent sight to summon Tawny with. He's choosing to pay the 1 for the Lance. Have Tawny pick up the Lance. And I think he's just looking for a token now. So Tawny with the Lance, like it's out of position to attack a site on the next turn, but it does threaten for 2 on a strike. Stu paying 1 for a Torse Hammer onto the Harpies, shatter striking the Red Caps, and then attacking the Dragonets. Great play Just incredible card value, and kind of winning the trade there. Rob responding on this turn with a Firebolt to remove the Harpies, to get them out of the picture. Tapping for another spell. He should have 3 mana left now. Let's see if he has a play for 3. Sarkle Scorpions again for 2. Playing him in the center probably just to be more defensive, to give him more defensive options, despite the fact that if Tawny can get into position, since it has the lance, it can strike and remove the Scorpions. Stu tapping for a sight with the Druid, paying 2 for the Kobolds on town. End of turn, and they're going to strike the Scorpions. Yeah, so the Scorpions are going to die, which is unfortunate for Rob here. Yeah. Fortunately for Rob, like I said, like the way that he has he's running this Sorcerer deck, it is a very low to the ground. It's a very fast deck, so he's able to bring out. He's able to generate a lot of card advantage. He's able to bring out a lot of cards and make a lot of plays, despite only having 5 mana in the mana pool, and like kind of capping himself at 5. He taps for another spell to generate some more possibilities here. All 5 mana for Panorama Mana Core. And then passing turn back. Rob looking at his options. His hand is not empty. He still has, I want to say like 3 or 4 cards still in his hand. He has been very efficient this game, so he has made a lot of really equitable trades and really equitable 2-for-1s. He's been able to get off, and kind of like win the value proposition in the game so far. It's just that Rob playing Sorcerer generates so much card value at this point, drawing 2 cards a turn, that it has kind of is somewhat evened itself out in the match here. Stu commenting, Rob is currently sitting with 3 cards in hand. 3 for a Disintegrate on the Mana Core to remove that. So great play for Stu. 1 to Trinket Kobolds, attack for 3. End of turn, they're going to strike the Sorcerer for 2 more points, or 3 points, I think. Tawny attack in for 2. Lance breaks. I believe he has 3 mana left. Tapping for a sight. It's not the Forge. 3. He's just double checking, but he should still have 3 mana left for turn. So he's gonna pay 1 for a Lance, and then a Violent to pick it up, and he's gonna opt not to. He's gonna choose not to use the Genesis ability on the imp. So Stu just loading up the board, daring Rob to come up with a way to clear here to stay alive another turn or two. There's definitely a lot of threats here. A lot of threats here that he is going to need a solution for. Five mana for a Poison Nova, so that's all his mana. But that will clear out 2 out of 3 of the threats on the board at the moment. And then tapping to draw that card before passing turn. So tough. I mean, a little tough for Rob on this turn. The Violent can attack in for 3 points onto the sinkhole. That'll take him the door. So that'll take him the door. And Stu, a lot of mana to play with here. Seven mana for turn. 2 towns on the board. Tapping Druid for a site. 5 mana for a Panorama Manticore of his own. Which, again, probably not what Rob wants to see right now. He has a lot of cards. He generates a lot of card advantage with draw. It's just like they've been going through a lot of spells, a lot of removal. There's only so much in the deck that he can grab. So he's tapping for his second spell now, trying to dig for a solution here. At door is dangerous, especially playing against mono fire. There's a lot of fire spells that can do it here for him. Phoenix is Phoenix is one of the better cards that Rob could pull here. Phoenix immune to all sources of fire damage, so it can virtually block any of his fire, any of Stu's fire minions without taking any damage. In fact, getting boosted by that damage, as well as being immune to any fire-based damage spells. Still moving the imp onto the site. Rob choosing to intercept with the Phoenix. And then Stu choosing to fly the Manticore onto the site as well. Since the Phoenix is already tapped, it cannot intercept again. Now Stu thinking that again, thinking that over again, choosing to just move it down to the sinkhole. Tapping for a site, I assume, to get Tawny back out here again. Yeah, bringing Tawny back out. And at this point, he's just looking to get advantage on the board with more threats than kind of the Phoenix can deal with. To give him an opening, or he's just trying to stall for stall for a kill spell. If he can get the Phoenix out of position in that central column, it would open Rob up to a projectile, so just the fire bolts would round out the game. Rob's got a lot of cards in his hand. I think I'm counting seven spells. So he's got options, and this has always been the problem that I've had when I play sorcerer. That when you get to about 5 mana base and you draw a lot of cards, you have a lot of card advantage, and then the problem is like how do you get those cards out? How do you actually like play those cards efficiently? And depending on how you've curved your the mana costs in your deck, you sometimes you can only play one card a turn, and instead of like 2 cards a turn, especially if you're capped at like 5 mana base instead of 6. Rob clarifying how the ability on the Phoenix works if it fights the Manticore. Looks like he had a minor explosion in his hand, so I think he was considering boosting the Phoenix with minor explosion. Oh, that is what he's gonna do. He's gonna minor explosion the Phoenix. He's gonna attack the Manticore. Uh, 2 mana for a Jihad. And then passing turn back to Stu. That central column is open now, so that is a danger. But I mean, there's only so much you can do at this point when you're in Rob's position. Sometimes you just have to leave an avenue open and then just hope that your opponent doesn't have it. Can take advantage of it. When you're at door, there's only so much you can do. So much you can do with positioning, with kind of managing the board and taking out the threats that you need to. Stu taking a step forward, which is usually not a very good sign when the druid is choosing to take a step forward here. It's very very likely that next turn he's gonna flip. He's gonna flip, which will prevent. It limits the sites that Rob can walk to with the avatar, just because it can't move into anything nearby a flipped druid. Otherwise, it would take 1 point of damage and kill itself. So also a little bit dangerous, because as we've seen, both of these guys are playing with minor explosions. Minor explosions have a targeting distance of two steps. Stu has brought himself within 2 steps of Rob's avatar. Let's see, Rob with the Phoenix on the board. He does need a way to remove Tawny. Otherwise, Tawny can just fly over on the next turn for a point of damage. I think he's weighing his options in his hand to see if he has a more neat way to deal with it here that doesn't involve wasting another turn with the Phoenix to remove Tawny. Ideally, it would be good to get the Phoenix maybe in position to screen. Well, I guess at this point, because because Stu has closed the distance, it's more difficult to screen for projectiles. Stu or Rob swinging for 4. I think he has forgotten the Jihad would also boost it up for an additional point. That's okay. And then playing out a Kobold. End of turn, they could strike Tawny. So to remove that threat and clog up the area with whatever. With a bunch of minions, the Warhorse as well, like just clogging up that area. And again, he did calculate the 3rd point of damage in there from Jihad for the Warhorse on charge, so that'll take Stu to door. Stu flipping the Druid and then casting Courtesan Thace. Next turn he controls Rob, and he's just gonna force Rob's avatar to walk forward into his sights and take a point of damage. So a very close game there, especially at the end. Real nail biter, real fun game to watch. So that was round 5. That was the fifth Swiss round of this tournament, and then the next videos are going to be top 8 rounds.